Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. So you know, I'm in a bit of a quandary. I often am. I'm in a bit of a quandary because, you know, I've been looking at fans of the current era, and, you know, I don't want to blanket anyone and say, oh, you're, you know, liberal, progressive, social justice warriors, weirdos, whatever, as being one thing, because that's crazy, because not all group is made up one thing. And you know, there are, I really think, genuine people who like the current era of Doctor Who. I really don't, right? I really don't. But I am feeling, I do understand why they think people like me are saying they're not real fans, right? No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm really, and actually, this actually does quite concern me. I'm not saying that at all. Yeah, I'm happy for you to like something different from me. I just really deeply don't understand, right? That's the thing. I just don't understand whatsoever. When people say, why don't you like the current era Doctor Who? There's just so many reasons, right? There's so many reasons. Let me count the way. And to really go through it, it's like, it takes some time. And look, I'm a kind of guy who's very, very, you know, forceful with his opinions. I just happen to really believe the crap I say. I mean, I genuinely do. So I can see how that does come out as like berating, right? And I don't want anybody to feel that way. However, Screenrant, those little scamps at Screenrant, who have been somewhat quiet on the Doctor Who front for the last couple of weeks. Normally you get 2 or 3 articles out in a week. Hasn't been anything for a couple of weeks. I was thinking, did I break them? did I scare them away? So those little scamps at Screenrant, which have been carrying water hard for the current era of Doctor Who. See, this is the thing. I don't think they're carrying water for it hard because they like it. I think it's because they like the agenda that's like indivisible from it, right? It goes for every. Okay. It's just one of the reasons I don't like. It goes through every year as, you know, strata of the current era of Doctor Who. I think they more like the agenda than the actual episodes. I think the episodes are generally speaking pretty weak, and Jodie Whittaker's performance bad. See, I can't like even get close to explain, going to it without giving some reasons. But anyway, they had a bit of a weird idea, Screenrant. They said we're going to sit down, and we're going to list all the problems caused by the timeless children, right? And so we're gonna sit down and we're gonna make a list of everything that needs to be fixed in season 13 or needs to be resolved in season 13 for anything to make sense. Listen, mate, don't hold your breath, okay? Do not hold your breath. They're probably forgetting most of it, is my guess. The way Doctor Who is written right now is what makes a good like mic drop moment without actually thinking about how to get there or the consequences of it. I mean, a great example would be the Jodie Whittaker digging up Dr. Ruth's Tardis, which made no sense. It just made no sense whatsoever. And then they had to teleport. It was dumb. But they wanted the and that's really, you see in Star Trek Discovery all the time, that they live for that, and they're like, I'm telling you, season 2, much more than season 3, and season 3 was pretty bad, was just like full of these massive inconsistencies because that's what they want. So mostly things will not be resolved, bless them, those little scabs. But it's fun that they're listing them. We're going to read their article. Maybe you might take the piss a little bit, you know. It's just, it's what I'm about to do. Before we get there, hit the like button. That'd be great. I'm over 3,050 subscribers again. YouTube, let me get some subscribers. Thank you. But if you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, can you consider hitting that subscribe button? That'd be, what we call in rabbinical circles, very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. And of course, always go check out my Indiegogo. If you backed it, that's great. If you haven't backed it, go check it out now. 2 awesome graphic novels. We got Biblical, Bible Stories for Atheists, Creators, Rationalists, and Rogues. And The Imperium, a love letter to Teddy Fantasy of the 1960s. And you get tons of extras with it. You get, Noble Savages, For the Male Gaze cards, which they're all fantastic. I mean, really, Dominic Rancho, just great artist. He really is a great artist. I don't know why he's not more employed. His color work's even better, right? But look at that. I mean, I was going to do a quick plug this time, but every time I see his work, I go, oh, look how good this is. It is. It's just very, very good, So we got these. We got posters, all kinds of things. So go check out my Indiegogo. That would be very, very, very nice. And don't check it out. Maybe buy a copy or two. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. You know what else is awesome? Those scamps at Screenrant. Let's see what they have to say about life. Doctor Who. Every Timeless Child question season 13 has to answer. I'm gonna bet it's not every question. I'm gonna bet they miss out because there's so many things that just don't make sense anymore. And look, let's be clear. I always try and go for the root of the problem rather than the symptoms. I think that what Screenrant's going to do over here is talk about the symptoms of the problem. I'm going for the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that Chris Chibnall is a massive virtue signaler in my estimation, and he doesn't like the Doctor has been a white male, and he feels the Doctor should be other things other than a white male. I'm basically open to the idea as long as they stay true to the essence of the character, and the character is fundamentally a very masculine character. But it's not to say a woman can't do it. Jodie Whittaker can't. She's freaking awful. Awful at it. But I know a lot of people think no, it's intrinsically male. I think it's a masculine character, and with that in mind, go to the essence of the character, and pretty much anyone can play it. I do think it's somewhat weird that we haven't had a black Doctor Who. The time for that would have been the 80s instead of Colin Baker. And I love you, Colin Baker. Like Patterson Joseph, I think he might have been a bit young there. Honestly, when I saw him in the early 90s version of Neverwhere that was on BBC Two, which you should try and dig out, I was like, oh man, this would have been an awesome Sixth Doctor. That really would have been the time to do it. And now it just seems to be a bit pandering. But again, listen, I mean, look, there's lots. Yeah, it's a bit. That's a bit statistically a bit odd at this point. We have 13 Doctors. They're all white. I think the black population of the UK is something like 12%, is it? I say these figures off the top of my head. I never research because I never really think what I'm going to say before I say it. Yeah, I just I have all this going all the time. I think it's around like 12. I think the BAME population is 20%. But I think the black population is 12%. So, out of 13 Doctors, 1.3. You could have got one, and it hasn't then. It's statistically a bit strange. But, it's whatever. Honestly, I don't think that being obsessed with someone's skin color is particularly healthy, which is why I think the people who are obsessed with it are particularly unhealthy. Anyway, so let's see them try and count the ways that this is awful, right? Doctor Who, every Timeless Child question, season 13 has to answer, and it's not. Doctor Who season 12 ended on a massive Timeless Child retcon, leaving season 13 with a huge list of questions and mysteries to address. I think chief amongst them, why would anybody bother watching, right? Why you've totally made the main character very, very boring. I mean, the interesting thing about Doctor Who was he was very, and for me anyway, that he was an outsider. I liked his moral view of the world, and he was very, very clever and didn't mind being an outsider, which is why I think people on the outskirts of society really love Doctor Who. I think they got a very big gay following because I can imagine growing up gay. And most people are straight, you're going to feel a bit different from it. And I think that's why you latch on to Doctor Who. Listen, I was a Doctor Who nerd, which may be a bit different, which is why I latched on to Doctor Who. Bit of a, circular logic there on that one. But I think people who feel on the fringes of society, not in the mainstream, do, cleave to Doctor Who, which is why I think this Doctor Who is so bad, because it's so conformist. Oh God, it's so conformist and with a massive desire to want to conform. Oh, it's horrible. But again, if you love it, God bless you. So yeah, let's see if they can work out all these questions. Doctor 630, better make time to answer these Tardis child questions. It's not. It doesn't give a crap. It doesn't care. What my guess is, after seeing the Daleks are back, if you didn't see my video yesterday, the Daleks are back, along with the Sontarans and Weeping Angels, And that's 3 out of the 5 episodes, you know. So like maybe I would have thought they'd bring a side member. I think they're bringing a lot of things back because I think this is. I'm hoping. You know, my point of view is coloured by my desire. My desire is I'm hoping this is the last 8 episodes for both Whittaker and Chibnall. I mean, it's again amazing to me that they're doing another 8. But okay. And I think, honestly speaking, forget the spin. The metrics of everything is that he's destroyed a very, very valuable property, Chris Chibnall. So unless he finds a way to turn it around, because the rate of descent is much greater than the rate of decline for most TV ratings. So, you know, I understand they spin it. You're not allowed to talk about it in official media and Doctor Who magazine. But still, you know, I think his career is going to be really hurt unless the only way he can survive, I think, is there's 2 ways. One, he gets somewhat better ratings in season 13, which I think is why we're getting all the monsters. But I guess he was relying on Captain Jack as well. Sorry, mate. That one's gone. Hey, why don't you bring back Mickey? How about that for a laugh? I think Captain Jack. So that's one way of saving us. The other way is the buffoons who hired him also look ridiculous now. So maybe they'll hire him for more things. You know, people do like to double down on being stupid, right? People are very much in. If somebody's stupid, they really want to be more stupid. They can't wait to be more stupid. Weird that, but true. 30 times up. Mere days after Jodie Whittaker made a debut on the 13th Doctor, Doctor Who season 11 started to hint towards something big. In the Ghost Monument, the Doctor and a new commander were pitted against the Remnants. Yeah, and I have to tell you, probably one of her best episodes. Deadly scraps of mind-reading toilet paper who somehow reached into the darkest recesses of the protagonist's head and pulled out a deep dark secret that even she didn't know. The deep dark secret known as the Timeless Child. Stunned, the Doctor seemed to recognize the phrase as some foggy, inaccessible file locked in the back of a memory. I mean, listen, if this was genuinely Chibs trying to build things up, he's just not very good at it, really. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit arrogant to have a 2-year run-up to a storyline. I can understand it. You know, you could say the Matt Smith season was the ending was written at the same time as the beginning. I mean, that's actually something I really liked about the season era. That Matt Smith was one complete era, and it was, people say, oh, it was very convoluted. It really wasn't. His last episode did just answer all the questions and tie everything up, and you could see where it was all going, how it was already planned from the beginning. But the thing was, there were minor mysteries and major mysteries. And most of the major mysteries were resolved in some way, or they're left on some kind of cliffhanger. But yeah, they rebooted the universe. But yeah, it's that scene, by the way, see, this is how much I love Doctor. That scene where Amy Pond, and it's a wedding, and she realizes the Doctor's not there. I love it. I mean, it's just fantastic. I think it's one of the greatest moments in Doctor Who. What's it? We're just talking about something borrow, something blue. Yeah, and the music, just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. That's the right way to do it. Wrong way to do it? Here. Okay. But fans, the incident wasn't mentioned again this season, but fans immediately recognized this as Chris Chibnall, Bad Wolf, or Howard Saxon. Yeah, you've got to resolve that in that season. Don't wait. Again, especially as your seasons were 18 months apart. People don't remember, and people don't give a crap, because, you made it. You made these characters forgettable, right? That's the thing. You made them forgettable and dull, and really that's what you made Doctor Who is dull, because she can regenerate, at an infinite level now. She's never gonna. Who cares? I mean, she doesn't like a haircut one day, she could just shoot herself and regenerate her hair. Or something along those lines. With cataclysmic consequences. Well, Bad Wolf didn't, and neither did Harold Saxon, other than the Master was bad. It's not cataclysmic consequences. When the Doctor finally revisited the Timeless Child in season 12, however, those consequences proved to be more cataclysmic than anyone anticipated. I have to say this. Chris Chibnall always exceeds my worst expectations in terms of suck, right? always gets he is the absolute worst expectations I have. He is worse than that. It's incredible. It's like kind of like a superpower. The consequences. When Dr. However, those proved more than anybody anticipated. After getting lost in the Matrix, Gallifrey's own virtual Wikipedia. No! It's a repository of all Time Lord experience. Be calm. The Master learned the truth behind the species' origin, the story of the timeless child. Okay, none of that makes any sense, right? Like how the reason Doctor has always been so special, the Master wasn't a fan and burned Gallifrey to go. How? God, it sucks so hard. But the timeless child toothpaste wouldn't go back in the tube. The Master eventually had no choice but reveal his discovery to the Doctor. And make her pay for being present within his very veins. What? Oh, okay, fine. I think so. The canon-breaking nutshell. The timeless child reveals that the Doctor isn't who she and we always believed, and harbors an untold, forgotten history stretching back before William Hartnell, but strangely known about by sentient toilet paper on a planet we've never seen before. Naturally, this proved controversial with fans. We rejected it. We have all rejected it other than you in crazy shills. And you know why you haven't rejected it? Because the skin color and gender of the person in the picture next to me. That's why. That's why you think it's so stunning and so brave. Because you're a racist. That is the bottom line. Naturally, this proved controversial with fans, and after the 2021 New Year's special, awkwardly glossed over the issue, and actually was one of the best episodes they've done, mainly because Jodie wasn't in it much. Doctor Who season 13 has some serious explaining to. It's just not going to do. Where did the Doctor come from? No way is this getting an explanation. Ever since the Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee years, fans have known the Doctor as a Time Lord from the Planet Gallifrey. Snobbish and egalitarian, the Time Lord supposedly mastered the art of travel through time many eons ago. And I tell you, I really like the reason the Doctor left Gallifrey is because he just couldn't stand his boorish people, the Time Lords, right? I think that made a real compelling, flawed character. You see, that's the thing. When people like Chris Chibnall write a character, they first look at the character's identity, and then they assign from that what level of adversity that character can experience. If it's like a gay character, I don't think they're allowed to be killed. And they got in a lot of trouble in that first special resolution because they introduced the character as being gay. He like literally had one line, "Oh, my boyfriend said whatever," and then, "Oh, it's a dog. I'm dead." You know, it's like again. If you're obsessed with identity, with your immutable characteristics, you're probably a bad person. But yeah, no, I like the snobbish and egalitarian, and I think that's why Robert Holmes' reinvention of it really worked in Deadly Assassin, even though fandom at the time hated it. But the reason it worked is it didn't contradict that essence. That essence remained. He didn't like his people because they had a very normative and kind of somewhat disgusting moral outlook, which the Doctor rejected. Again, the Doctor being an outsider is really important, and being virtuous for being an outsider, I think, is a real cornerstone of it, its appeal. That's why, again, I feel this conformist Doctor, terrible. Anyway, we're still mastered the art of traveling through time many years ago and imposed a strict rule of non-interference. Then came along the Doctor, who strongly disagreed with this policy and decided to run anyway. The Tardis Child reveals a far more complex backstory and a much more shit one, I think, if we're going to go for the technical definition of it. And a barely the Tardis Child, a firmer complex in which Gallifrey's problems were originally known as Shabugans. No, we don't know that. excuse me, I always got the impression from Invasion of Time the Shibugans were people who rejected Time Lord society and went out of the capital to live there. Not this is their indigenous way. You just insert your own bollocks in there to make it make sense, which it doesn't. And a belly traveling in space. No, what's her name? Tecton had her own personal spaceship. It was seen to be like cars. I think we've cracked cars. Let alone time. A Shibugan scientist named Tecton. How do we know Shibugan? We know the Gallifreyan. Ventured from Gallifrey, discovering a rift in space. It's such lazy writing, and was shocked to see a child fall through the boundary. No, she found the child next to the boundary. The mysterious juncture will be adopted by Tecton and taken back to Gallifrey and become known as the Doctor. No, again, none of that is explicitly stated. I understand that's what's inferred, but there's a big difference in inference and statement. Perhaps the biggest question left by the Timeless Child revelation is where the Doctor truly comes from, if not Gallifrey. That's never going to be addressed by Chibnall. Okay, no, it will again. What's the function of this? To make the Doctor less white and less male, which is why you have the United Colours of Benetton in seen as the many regenerations that Tecton murdered her daughter with over and over again. The unknown nature of the rift means there any place and time is possible. Yeah, he didn't think about it because he's a lazy writer. But the master speculates his nemesis fell from another dimension altogether. This line would have been included without. This line wouldn't have been included without good reason. Yes, it would. The good reason being Chibnall was a bad writer. So we can assume the master's speculation is accurate. No, God, you are such a moron. Everything you are saying is wrong. It's breathtaking. You would have thought, a bunch of statements you made, one of them's going to be right. No. What specific planet was the Doctor born on? Doesn't matter, you're never going to hear. But was the universe close to parallel cells extremely different? Which species does she belong to? Doctor Who has explored alternate worlds before. You mean realities before. Most recent season 12 with Cassavin. Really? I don't remember that. Who cares? Which one's Cassavin? He was the Game of Thrones guy, right? So it's every time I see him and everything, he's always like, ugh, I've been brought to this. He was in that Superman show as a hologram, and you can just oh God, I trained as an actor, and now I'm wearing this pap. So it's entirely possible she could return home and discover her hidden heritage, or what's left of it, at least. Okay, so again, but why? Who cares? Why did the Doctor leave her home? Okay, again, I doubt it's going to be answered. After confirming the Doctor's homeworld and species, the Doctor Who season 13 must always address why she left. I think she was left or booted out. Falling from the sky into the care of Tecton. There's no indication of how and why this Doctor transcended the barrier between realities, but speaking broadly, there are two possibilities. Either Doctor fell through by accident or escaped on purpose, or was left behind by people escaping out, our reality. God, again, dude, you would have thought, being a writer, you would be a little bit more creative. No, none of that. But if we assume the Doctor's species are incredibly advanced, that basically this is let's make them Time Lords again. They say so when they come from, we just do the same thing as the Time Lords. The Timeless Child's adventurous nature may have caused her to fiddle with the technology she didn't understand and accidentally enter a different universe. No, that would be the Jodie Whittaker Doctor, who is just a massive screw up, right? Wherever she can screw up, she will screw up. Alternatively, the Doctor could be a refugee of some kind of war or calamity. Yeah, okay. If they did deal with it, it would be something like that. She's a refugee, like Superman, but with a British accent and less punching. Okay. The Doctor's homeworld may have descended into tragedy. Well, our one has, right? So, yes, our homeworld has descended into tragedy. In what way? We have this Doctor Who. I can't think anything more tragic than that. Forcing the race's last remaining child to seek safety else. I mean, like, is it like, okay? Here's the sign of bad writing: when you got to write whole bloody novels to fill in the plot holes, right? And then just make up a bunch of stuff and have a bunch of assumptions. Yeah, you could drive you could drive a fleet of war TARDISes through these plot holes. They are big. They are very big and gangly, and they're not going to be dealt with. The Tardis show doesn't seem to remember. Oh, anything else? Did I miss anything? Doctor's homeworld may have descended in tragedy. Oh yeah, falls in the race's last remaining child seeks safety elsewhere. The timeless child doesn't seem to remember these details. Would suggest, but the toilet paper did. Things like that, she was sent through the boundary by a mysterious figure who wanted to protect her rather than walking through of her own accord. She may have fallen through a dusty wardrobe in her uncle's mansion. At this point, we have no idea. You know who else has no idea? Chris Chibnall. Okay, because nothing matters. How many regenerations does the Doctor really have? Well, again, at the end of Capaldi's era, he had unknown regenerations as well, all right? Because they got, I mean, maybe another 13, maybe not. He was given a whole new life cycle, which, I mean, that was the inference. The Tardis Child forces a major change in Doctor's regeneration mythology. I honestly, look, I think this is our best bet right now. That season 13 ends on a cliffhanger regeneration, and then we get a reboot about whatever in 5 years from now, and that's the best bet. That is our best bet. Forgetting all this nonsense, because who cares? Because it's what you're going to want to forget, right? Half human on his mother's side. Tardis forces a major change in Doctor regeneration mythology. Previously, Doctor Who established the limit to the gimmick: 12 lives, then you're out, unless you can threaten or charm the Time Lost and grant you more. During the Masters Matrix flashbacks, in Doctor Who season 12, however, the Doctor is seen flipping through regenerations like Tom Baker did Jelly Babies. Though not stated explicitly, it seems the Doctor could regenerate infinitely before scientists of Gallifrey engineered the power and transferred it to the entire species. It really makes the Doctor a dull character, because again, if there's no consequence, the Doctor, the Doctor is immortal. You can't do an immortal doofus apparently. But I think the real reason there's infinite regenerations. If there's infinite regenerations, there's infinite Doctors. If there's infinite Doctors, Doctor Who looks like everyone, which makes it just bland and boring. We like Doctor Who to have characteristics. We like him to be, a little bit, have a temper or be vain or arrogant or the hurt John Pertwee's Doctor clearly felt when Joe left. It just made him so human, right? Even though he wasn't, but made him so relatable. It's the foibles that make characters relatable, not their awesomeness. Again, somebody needs to just have this playing constantly in a loop in Chibnall's head. It's not saying the Doctor could regenerate infinite time. Okay, fine. Did the Time Lords lie to the Doctor about having 12 regeneration ceiling? This would certainly explain why they're so keen to grant a new lifestyle the name of the Doctor. Again, a whole new novel's worth of story to fill in this pothole. Granting like the name of the Doctor in order to hide the Doctor's secret history. Did Gallifrey somehow impose a limit they gave themselves onto the Doctor, also restricting her natural gifts? Well, I don't think so. I mean, we see the Doctor regenerate lots and lots of times, according to this pap, to one line with the stolen copies. Another possibility is that the Doctor does have a regeneration limit, a much higher one than previously suggested. Okay. I totally forgot about the whole division thing. Oh god! What a shock! What a shock! It's a woman in charge. I mean, I honestly, it's okay to put a man in charge of something. It's okay to have a male character, be in charge. That doesn't diminish anyone. It just normally makes it makes your drama work a bit better. 9 times out of 10. Doctor Who Season 12, the Tardis reveals how after providing a template for the entire Time Lord race, the Doctor is recruited by the Division. No, none of that made sense at all. I'm sorry, the whole what I can't remember the name. Brendan, what was it? That was so when people were channel surfing, they thought they would think they're they got called the midwife, and they would stay watching for a few minutes, thus adding more to their audience figures, which failed horribly. The Doctor was recruited by a division, a shady clandestine unit of Gallifreyan agents who took dangerous missions and changed history as they deemed fit. Oh, you mean like the CIA? Like that exact thing that you ripped off and just changed the name to a more boring, generic name. Thanks to Joe Martin's future, the Doctor, otherwise known as Ruth, I call her Dr. Ruth. Viewers know the Doctor eventually rebels against the division and tries to break free. But why did she join in the first place? Who cares? The division's mission statement and general sketchy demeanor is exactly the type of thing the Doctor would usually steer clear of. Was she simply young and naive, or the temptation of adventure too great? This is never going to be addressed. I'm sorry. This is never, ever going to be addressed. Doctor Who must then offer some idea what the Doctor got up to between joining division and jumping into the TARDIS with Susan. No! Maybe we'll get like an animated explanation. What was that episode they did that in? That was like weird, and it was bad animation as well, like artsy animation. Yeah, there's a reason that hadn't been done in Doctor Who. Because it was shit, right? Does she hide a darker part of herself? And that would incite feelings of shame if she could remember. And did any significant events occur during the period aside from a numerous regenerations? The Doctor might have spouses or children that they completely forgot they existed. No, I doubt that's going to happen. What I could see happening is the only reason you had the timeless child revelation now is because now she's a woman and she can deal with it. When she's a weak man, men can't deal with it. So Chet Bales only when she had the strength of her femininity, her magic vagina. That's the only time that she could deal with it. I can see them going for that bullcrap. Finally, what became the vision after the Doctor's departure from Gallifrey? Who cares? For such an omnipotent time-traveling force, it's surprising the division haven't bothered Doctor before now, because nobody thought of it! Oh, God. I mean, you could say the CIA was born out of the division, I guess. But no, that would take thought, and care. Obviously, this is because they only invented for the season 12, but assuming the division was destroyed during the Time War, they weren't even there for plays. They still should have been active during the classic era, William Hartnell and Paul McGann. So no, the indication was the division. Again, the inference I got, the division was something that was just wiped away, before Hartnell, right? Yeah, the whole before Hartnell thing. Who knew the Tardis child and the Doctor's parents? Nobody. But look, here's another mystery they forgot. The at the end of what was it? The end of time. You had the Doctor, this woman who was intimated to be the Doctor's mother. They never carried on, but they're covering their faces. The intimation was they would become the Weeping Angels. Completely forgotten, much like the Jodie Whittaker era. The Master helpfully explains that the Timeless Child was Gallifrey's most protected secret. Minds were wiped, records were deleted, and every effort was made to ensure that no one knew how the Time Lords truly started out. Apart, of course, again, from the sentient alien toilet paper on a planet we've never seen before. But someone must have uncovered the truth before the Master. Maybe one of the Master was heading straight to the top. There's a chance Rassilon would have been privy to the Timeless Child's baggage, and the leaders of the division might have also been clued in. I mean, I don't see. No, again, the reason they got rid of Rassilon and Omega, because they were men. They had to get. I mean, wouldn't it have been better if, you were to say Omega and they could have had a female Omega? I mean, what's the difference? No, they had to invent a new character. It was just, oh God, it's such bollocks. It's all such bollocks. And then there's the Doctor's Gallifreyan parents. No. As far as do they have children on Gallifrey? During the Cartmel master plan, the whole thing, the Gallifreyans were loomed. They do have children on Gallifrey now. I remember from Day of the Doctor when the Daleks were about to shoot a bunch of little kitty winks. Fine. There's Then there's the Doctor's Gallifreyan parents. Modern Doctor Who has often teased the Doctor's parenting, with the 10th Doctor era sort of revealing the character's mother, and Capaldi's has also confirmed that young Doctor once lived in an orphanage. Nevertheless, the Doctor has referenced having parents on numerous occasions. I just kind of got a feeling he was orphaned, right? I got a feeling he's kind of a James Bondy, Batman-y, kind of figure. At the very least, his mother must have known the Doctor's secret origin. Okay, I guarantee you, Christian Moore and nobody in the writing room has ever given this the slightest thought ever. It was a matter of great importance to Gallifrey. Perhaps the Doctor's mother has always been Tectuan, even in the end of time. And again, it wasn't really explained who she was. Okay, fine. So now we're talking about how many Doctors have there been? 13. I mean, it's so hard now with the War Doctor. I've really lost count. Okay, so we have 9 was Eccleston, 9 was Eccleston, 10 was Tennant, 11 was Smith, 12 was Capaldi, 13 War Doctor. Do you count Matt Smith twice? I don't think so. 13. How many Doctors have there been? 13. The Timeless Children, the United Colors of Benetton, the Mobius Doctors. No. None of these people were Doctors. When John first appeared as a War Doctor, Stephen Moffat carefully explained how, because he left the Doctor's name behind, the show's numbering system remained perfectly intact. In other words, Tennant was still 10. Well, it didn't really work, because you see me they're trying to work out. Smith was still 11, and frankly, he needn't have bothered. The Tardis show confirms. Well, no, again, it was Chibnall taking an idea that worked, and making it bad in his own inimitable way. Technical numerous different Doctors before Hartnell. You can probably throw in the Mobius Doctors, the Unseen Regenerations in the mix. Jodie Whittaker is more like the 43rd Doctor than the 13th. And it's been so popular. You're right? Has that gone down well? Have a Doctor Who fan say, "Oh, this is great." Yes, more. No, they haven't done that. And you get a few of the crazes on Twitter go, Doctor Who's always been about change and bringing that. No, it's never been about. Again, if I may quote Neil Gaiman, who's deleted this tweet, if you write a Batman story about a man in a yellow coat with a pet bat, it's not Batman, right? If you change all the tenets of Doctor Who to make her into a bumbling moron who does with no agency, it's not Doctor Who. Where are we? Since Joe Martin calls herself the Doctor in Future of the Doom, the old War Doctor excuse can't be used on this again because he didn't think about it. All they wanted was a mic drop. Well, fans really shouldn't expect a full rundown on every past regeneration. It'll be nice to know how many paces of heart. There's not a chance in a million years, right? God, how many? Okay, we're getting there. Thank God for that. Okay, we're talking about the why is Ruth's Tardis a blue box? Yeah, again, if it's pre-Hartnell, doesn't really make sense. I mean, the only way it would make sense, again, it's like if you see like a part of an image, like you see like 3 corners, your brain will fill in that extra corner to make a square, right? When you see something missing, that your brain will fill something in. So the way my brain filled this in is like, even though they wiped her mind after being Dr. Ruth, which is kind of how they inferred things. It was still buried deep in the Doctor. He liked the police box, and so when he was Hartnell, he kept the police box, sort of thing. Or the TARDIS sensed his love of the police box form and took it to 1963, right? Like that's how I viewed it, because it doesn't make any sense, right? And then you gotta fill in blanks when the something doesn't make sense. When Jodie Whittaker dug Dr. Ruth and Tardis out of the ground, which also didn't make any sense, in Future of the June, the ship was instantly recognised when the blue box, as the blue box Doctor Who first made famous in 1963. It was already famous, moron! And the first of many timeless children plot holes emerged. Yeah, so you could say that. In Doctor Who's opening episode, Hartnell's first Doctor and Susan accidentally whisked Ian and Barbara from contemporary London back to prehistoric era cavemen. Oh God, so much better than this. This note says what it has done. I love that bit. That to me is where William Hartnell really became the Doctor, right? When he did that whole trial scene. The chameleon circuit hasn't kicked in and morphed the vessel into something less conspicuous, and nor would it for quite some time, like for a couple of episodes in Attack of the Cybermen. But if Ruth was a doctor before Hartnell, why does a TARDIS still look like a blue box? Since Doctor Who has long treated the TARDIS as a sentient entity, this quirk may be explained easily enough by the inconsistency. And this is certainly worth addressing. So the original plan that is rumored, I mean, I can't tell you for sure, the original plan was that Dr. Ruth was going to be an alternate second Doctor, who was then going to regenerate into alternate third Doctor and fourth Doctor. I don't know if they're still doing that, right? I mean, maybe, who knows? I mean, who was it? Nerida, the woman from one season of Blacklist and Grey's Anatomy, apparently. It was, it's been said that she is a doctor. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe. Maybe. That's how. That's certainly how it could go down. But yeah, listen, I don't know how they're going to explain it. And again, I don't care. I don't really see this as Doctor Who, so I want it to be the stupidest thing possible. I want it to be the least Doctor Who thing possible, right? That's what I want. The Doctor and Yaz to get into a sexual relationship in the TARDIS. Bit of Phasmin action. Because why? Because it's just I wanted to go have the most people say, "Oh, that's not Doctor Who," right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, just because I like confirmation bias, I guess. I like most people. So who had two hearts first? How is this even a question? The Master's Matrix deep dive converts the Doctor's DNA as well as replicated to gift the entire race regenerative abilities. But what about the Time Lord's other defining biological feature, two hearts? Most likely the timeless child had dual tickers when she fell into our universe, but once the Shibugans, it wasn't Shibuga, I mean, it could have been, and they kind of dressed like it, but I don't know, began altering their biology to match the Doctor's. They slowly evolved and developed a second heart. Seemed like pretty quickly to me. More interesting scenario, it might be if the Shibugans were the ones with two hearts, and in order to ensure the Doctor remained ignorant of their heritage, that they surgically implanted an extra. Oh, that is bollocks. So how does that work through regenerations? Well, that's just stupid. Honestly, oh man, I had to read through this whole idiot article to get the stupidest bit. I guess I did. That's what I had to do. The Doctor remained. It was ignorant of true heritage. The Time Lord surgically implied to maintain once again this plot hole. It isn't likely to sit at the heart of Doctor Who season 13, but it's a wrinkle that needs ironing out if the timeless child retcon is to be successful. Let me help you out, Screenrant. It's much like this Doctor is not to be successful. Okay, it's not going to be successful. It is in fact what we call in the trade complete bollocks. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.